Thanks for showing up for your feet. I'm really glad you're here. For this, you're going to need a lacrosse ball. So I've got mine in an old Argyle sock because I don't like when it rolls away from me. So we're gonna start with this. I'm gonna go off screen so you can really see my feet. Then I'll be back when we're back on the floor. So first things first, get your lacrosse ball and let's get it under our foot. Basically, this is like the equivalent of foam rolling before we start mobility practice. So I want you to have your foot, you can see the outside of my foot is on that lacrosse ball, and then the other foot is here. Look at my hips. My foot does nothing. I just keep that lacrosse ball, so heels on, lacrosse ball's on the outside just under my small toes, and I'm just twisting at the hip. This is a move from Jay DeSherry. He is a PT in Bend at Recharge there, and he has this move in one of his books. Maybe it's Running Rewired. Anyway, he also prescribes this for a long time for unlocking that tissue on the outside of our foot. Wow, we can get super tight tissues to our feet. This is why we want to do some mobility with them. This helps unlock that. If this feels really difficult for you, it's a good one to do. You don't have to do the full 90 seconds here. We're gonna swap to the other side. But you can, instead of doing it 90 seconds right now, you can do 40 seconds right now with me, and then another 40 seconds tomorrow, and maybe after doing this for a little bit, it'll start to feel easier. But basically what you're doing is just putting as much pressure as feels okay, and then twisting at the hip, and that gets that tissue on the outer foot. So experiment with feeling where it feels really good. Just keep those hips twisting. You'll feel when it's right, or maybe kind of uncomfortable, but right enough that you know, okay, this is doing some work there on the outer side. Ooh, for me, when I really get to the outside, I can definitely feel it. All right, now you know that one. It's a good one for a warm up. Let's do some just ankle mobility here. We're just gonna do 20 seconds per side. What you're looking for is your ankle not to come, your heel, excuse me, not to come off the ground. So if your heel comes off the ground, you are not getting the benefit. So I want you to just figure out where that is. And then once you've got that furthest point, then you're just aiming for your wall, your chair, whatever it is, switch sides, and just trying to go for it. All right, it doesn't matter what your mobility is, as long as you can see where it is and not go backwards from there, right? If you notice that, okay, I used to be able to go from here and now, wow, I have to be all the way up here, something's wrong with those tissues and you need to be working on that. So know where you're starting and always try and get better from there. All right, let's stop here. All right, we are gonna sit down, hi everybody, into a figure four. So that is this position. If this is hard for you, you could just do it here, totally fine. When we do it in the figure four is then we get a stretch through here. So I want you to lace your fingers through your toes. If this feels uncomfortable, see if you can just get it the very tips. If it's totally uncomfortable, just do it the ones that are comfortable. And we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds, getting our ankles moving and just spreading out the toes. So this, we are constantly smushing our feet together with our shoes, those little ballerina slippers. Oh my gosh, they go crazy. I see sometimes little kids in really just narrow shoes that makes me get sad. But our feet can spread really wide and they should be able to. So let them out. That's what we're doing here. All right, let's do the other side. So lace those fingers up, and then once they're there, just moving through that motion, getting some movement through your ankle. This should all feel really good. You should also feel like you're getting a stretch there. If you're not, come on back more. That's gonna give you more of a stretch. Good. All right, this is like a little fireside chat with feet. That's sort of weird, isn't it? All right, we're not a normal bunch of people, us runners, are we? Okay, so we got our figure fours, we're spreading our toes. Let's now move to a pin and stretch. Pin and stretch is when we pin down the muscle, then we move it, forcing it to break apart adhesions. Let's try it. So, okay, this one, windshield wiper pose. So we can get into this position, right? This is our windshield wiper where we have our foot right there. Then we can start working on it. For some of you, that might be too much here. So in that case, you can sit like this, you can sit like this, however you want to do it. But if you want to get into this windshield wiper stretch, get a little bit of hip work, what I want you to do is pin down the arch, both thumbs, push down, and then try and wiggle your toes back and forth. Feel really good. Probably doesn't feel great. Adjust your pressure, and then adjust up and down the arch as you go. So what we're doing here is we're pinning down that muscle and then forcing it through a little bit of a stretch, way harder to do than when we're pinning it down. This will help the muscles slide by each other, the tendons slide, and it's like giving ourselves a massage. So this is an easy way to do it, just going up and down. And if that pin and stretch part doesn't feel good, you can do pin and massage, whatever it is. We're gonna do 15 more seconds on this side, and then we're gonna go to the other side. But we're trying to just get some mobility through our foot. So doing some self-massage is a way to get to that spot. All right, 3, 2, let's switch our windshield wiper. So now we're in this windshield wiper on this side. Again, whatever way you're comfortable, going for the pin and stretch here. All right, so now same thing. You might feel like, oh, this side is pleasantly not as tight. Or you might feel like, okay, this side clearly needs some work. So it's okay if one side is tighter than the other. That's normal. What you can do though is spend a little more time on that. Now you don't have to go crazy, but maybe you just start on this side start on the side for opportunity, because then you're gonna likely take a little more time, unless you're timing yourselves on a timer. But if you are not sure if you're gonna stick with something, start on the one that needs more attention. All right, so you've got both thumbs going into your foot. I'm just here and then bending it in. All right, we got it. Again, this is something you can do every day. You can do it at night while you're watching TV. Let's finish here with a twist. So what we are looking for is getting our foot twisting this way. You're not trying to crack it or break it. You need these. They're lovely. Thank you, feet. Thank them. We're just trying to move them in ways that sometimes they don't move. If you have a foot that's like a concrete brick, is that even a thing? A brick or a piece of concrete? That is not great, right? We want our foot to be able to move really well. So this is helping your foot. Remember, it's got all these options. See if you can move every bone through the top there. So all of your toes, you can feel in between those moving. If they feel like, oh, that's totally locked up, this is something that you can do on your own. You can reach your feet nice and easily. You can massage through there. All right, so we've twisted the tops. Now we're gonna twist the calcaneus. So that's the muscle. It is the bone. That is your heel bone. So we are just going to twist that. It does not have the nice twisty look, right? It's pretty stuck on there, but just try and get a little bit of movement there. Maybe for you, what feels best is getting your thumbs into that heel. Maybe that feels terrible. Choose whatever it is. I just want you to pay a little bit of attention to that heel. Getting some movement. All these bones do move. If they don't move on you, unless they're fused from some sort of something has happened to you, they should be moving. All right, let's go to the other side. So same thing, we're doing a twist. So we're just trying to move that foot, not trying to break anything. Be kind to yourself here. All right, see if you can get some good movement through there. And now let's do where we're moving the bones. All the toes are getting some movement. You can move all of them. If there's one that feels like, oh, this one's pretty tight, then that's the one maybe spend a little bit more time on. Oh, hello, Kevy. Are you coming to help me with moving my calcaneus? Oh, thank you. All right, so you're getting your heel moving around. See what you can do. Might not move very much. That's okay. Just trying to give it some loving, some attention. All right, get it moving. Get your thumbs in there. You choose how you're doing it, but that's our foot mobility. The finisher here is that we are going to get into our hands and knees position. So join me here, hands and knees, and see how my toes are tucked under? That's where I want you to start. For some of you, this might feel like yowzas. If you can lean back, awesome. You get a little more of a stretch. And you can hold this one. If you want to do a long hold stretch, it should feel pretty chill. Like, okay, I'm in this position, I can hold it for a couple minutes. When you hold something longer, your body relaxes and lets go and will help with that length change. Then you can tip under and either sit back this way or come onto a seat, tip those toes under and hang out for a little bit, getting stretches through your toes both ways. Thanks again, giving your feet some love. They need it. We pound them all day when we're running. Have a good one, everybody.